Hey, what's up, stream keepers, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's topic, I want to discuss with you guys about stream breeding and stream keeping. So today's topic actually was being shared with one of the guys that actually wanted to understand what's the difference between it. And when new people actually come into the hobby, there's a lot of questions about what's the difference between stream breeding and stream keeping. So definitely in this video, you guys will actually understand the differences, the similarities and the differences of it, and whether is it possible to actually have to do both stream keeping and stream breeding. So first off, I actually want to go right into the topic today regarding stream breeding, right? So in this chart over here, you can actually see that the stream breeding and stream keeping differences is that the stream breeding is actually you have many tanks. You can start off both with many tanks as well. So but stream breeding, you actually do single type of streams in a tank. Like for example, if you have a boa tank, or you have the black fancy tiger tank, or if you have a deep blue boat tank, so normally you have them individual tanks, and then you keep them and then you breed them. And selective breeding on the second line over here is actually optional in that sense. Why do I put it optional? Is because not everybody wants to do selective breeding, because selective breeding means that you will have to invest a lot more tanks, a lot more time and resources to it, and it's entirely up to the breeder to actually go towards selective breeding as well. Of course, in selective breeding, there's also a lot of other stages like selective breeding for the masses or selective breeding for the quality and things like that. So that's why I put it as optional. And then of course you can see that the third point is actually traceable lineage. In that sense that you actually know that the breeders can actually tell you that, okay, this stream comes from where does it come from, where does it originate from, and who is the breeder. And that is very important if you are going to do on the second point where you want to do selective breeding. Because then you will be able to actually understand where the history come from. You're able to trace your kind of like a family tree kind of thing, so that you will know where it is, what has been used to be crossed with the streams. And then the next point over here is actually in stream breeding tanks, generally they are kind of quite clear in the sense that you don't have a lot of different ornamental things in there. The reason because is you need to actually do a lot of you have to remove the streamlets out from the tank. You have to do a lot of selective breeding and things like that. So you kind of like have to move things around. Move streams around. And that's the reason why having all those ornamental things like even driftwood and things like that, you don't get that kind of flexibility where you will have to you are able to actually remove the streamlets from the tank as best as you can and as fast as you can. And if, let's say for example, if you miss one of the streamlets and it so happens that the streamlet is a male that is not doing very well, it doesn't have that great characteristics that your alpha male is actually have in your breeding tank, and that male grow up in that dense population, the dense ornaments in the tank, where you have a lot of other things, and they kind of breed with the main breeding female. That is where your selective breeding will go on down to the waist. That is why selective breeding is a process, and it has to be kept in a very strict manner, where the tanks are often very clear, very clean, very accessible, where you can actually remove the streamlets and things like that. So it cannot be in a planter tank, because when you have it in a planter tank, it's almost impossible to remove all the streamlets from the tank as well. So that is why on the second point, selective breeding is optional, because not everybody wants to go into selective breeding, and it is usually for breeders who wants to either maintain the line, or they want to actually improve the line and things like that. And then the last point, like I have touched on, it follows a very strict process, and you can actually see that there is actually there is not much room for negotiation, or oh, can I have one more driftwood over here? Can I have things over there? Can I have these ornaments over here? And things like that. So it follows a very strict process in terms of selective breeding, in terms of what kind of male to what kind of female and things like that. So that is really about stream breeding. But stream breeding, if you, let's say for example, if you do not want to do any selective breeding, then it's fine. You can have a deep blue boat in a tank. You can have the plants in the tank. You don't even need. You can breed them. You can remove them from the streamlets from the tank, but you don't have to go into selective breeding. It is optional. So it's entirely up to you in terms of stream breeding. The different path that you want to take as well. So on the flip side, okay, right now it is let's go into stream keeping. So stream keeping is actually very enjoyable in that sense that stream keeping is where people actually come into the hobby first. Find that streams are very interesting. You want to keep them. Started off with maybe Neocaridinus and then maybe move on to Caridinus. So it is a more enjoyable process in the sense that you are not being bounded by a lot of strict processes. You can do a lot of mass breeding. You don't even care, whether it's does it come out nice or not nice. You just put them in the tank. It can be a planted tank. So that's where I think it is kind of more flexible, where you can put it when you can have a very nice aquascape. You can have some streams in there. That is really about stream keeping. And then we will not be talking much about lineage and things like that. So it is more open. It is more there's no host bar. It's all fun and game, and things like that. So like for example in Jake's tank, that is one example. Having the dinosaur tank, that is one example of stream keeping. So you can do anything you want. Basically, it is fine because you are keeping the streams. You want to enjoy the hobby. You want to put as many types of streams. You want to mix them all together. That's entirely fine as well. So there's no set rules that you actually have to follow in that sense. So the question is, can we do both stream keeping and stream breeding? So definitely, you can even do what I can think of is actually 3 categories. You can even do stream breeding, right? Stream breeding, and then the second one you can do stream breeding with selective breeding, and then you can have stream keeping. So you can have all of them together. Just to note that all 3 are having their different processes and things like that. So that 3 broad categories, it really depends on how you want to view them, because not everybody wants to do selective breeding. Like I've mentioned in the start of the video, not everybody wants to go into selective breeding because selective breeding takes a lot of time, effort, and a lot of patience and a lot of tanks. So that way, not everybody wants to go into that. So like for example, if I want to just keep a deep blue boat tank that I do not want to have any selective breeding, and I do not have additional tanks, but I love deep blue boats. So go ahead, keep them. What you can do is that you just let them be in the tank, let them breed. And if let's say you really want to start to control the quality of the deep blue boats, then all you have to do is that you have to remove the males from the tank, the streamlets grown up in the tank. Then you remove the males from the tank. You remove the not so blue ones from the tank as well. So you can actually remove them and then continue to keep that colony in the tank itself. You don't really need to invest in other tanks where you have to remove all the streamlets, put it in the grow up tank. So that is also perfectly fine, because not everybody, like I said, not everybody wants to do selective breeding. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of experience in terms of whether the streams will turn out good or not. So you can have all 3 together, like what I'm actually doing. I do stream breeding, selective breeding. I do just stream breeding itself. So for example, like Santa streams, or Black King Kong, Red King Kong. So all those I don't do any selective breeding. They are very stable already, and the streamlets that come out is almost identical. So there's not much to do in terms of selective breeding. So I do not do selective breeding. So that can be classified under stream breeding. However, it's not under selective breeding. And then finally, you can have a planted tank. You want to have a planted tank. You want to keep streams in there, make it, beautify it. I know some people even keep fishes and streams together. However, there's no host. I mean, there's no controls over stream keeping over here. So you have a planter tank, you want to have fishes, you want to have streams all together, that's perfectly fine. So I think at the end of the day, I just wanted to clarify with this video to share this information that for beginners who wants to come into the hobby. I really encourage you guys to come into the hobby. You don't have to worry about, should I go into selective breeding, should I go this and that, what should I do, just enjoy the hobby. If you want to do stream keeping, just do stream keeping. If you want to have one tank, you only have one tank, you want to keep streams, deep blue boats, PRL, whichever you want, put them in there, breed them, and then enjoy the hobby, have the family come together and things like that. So I think at the end of the day, you have to really decide your direction and then, enjoy the hobby. There's no hard and fast rule saying that you have to do selective breeding for that. Of course, definitely as you progress on and into the hobby and you realize that, okay, out of the 10 types of streams that you want to keep, you want to do 2 or 3 types of selective breeding of the streams, then you can go deeper into those kind, and then the remaining ones you can just keep them and breed them, right? And then even you want to have one planter tank with streams in there, that's also perfectly fine. So I just wanted to differentiate all this and share with you guys that it is perfectly fine that you guys can choose any direction or any path you want to take. There's no really a set rules for that. So thank you guys for watching this episode, and if you like this video, remember to give a thumbs up, and for those who are new to this channel, remember to subscribe, and until next time, peace out.